Hi, Danny here from Noclip. So we're making a video game, or maybe we've made a video game. I'm not quite sure when that transition happens. It exists. It's on Steam as a wish list right now. I don't think anyone knows about it, and it looks like this.
I don't have a good strategy for night turns.
Oh my god!
Somebody just popped out of
Came
nowhere.
out of, like, it just came out from under the
Where were
truck.
you hiding?
I was underneath. Where
my
else do you
God.
think I was?
I don't know, dude.
Sharking.
See you, Alex.
Alright, the red leader's on the loop again, so.
Okay, Red, you're on your own. Go, go, go.
So I guess the obvious question is why? Why would we make a video game we know nothing about? Well, maybe not nothing. We've spent 6 years interviewing people, so maybe we know a little bit, but functionally, we know nothing about how games are made. So there are loads of areas of games development that we get to cover because people are happy to talk about them, but there's loads of parts that people don't ever really talk about on camera, and they're kind of wide and varied. So everything from how much do games cost to make, how do you sign a deal with a publisher and how favorable are those deals? Usually not very. How does consultancy work and like paid reviews, mock reviews, not reviews, you don't pay IGN for a score. You pay a reviewer or an ex-reviewer usually to do a review of your game so you know if your game's shit or not. How does that work? How budgets affect what the game looks like, how the people working on the game affect how the game looks like. What's it like doing playtests? What's it like using Steam and like launching games and doing early access and all that sort of stuff. We kind of get to be there retrospectively for some of this, but we don't get to see the ugly parts of this, especially the business side. To do this, we need to have skin in the game, and we need to have a game. The game is like the sort of Trojan horse for letting us to do all this sort of stuff, to get us in the room and to talk to people about all these weird things. And so we decided to spend a little money. Well, not a little money. A lot of money? Not a lot of money. Not a lot of money. Let's put it that way. You could buy a car, a decent second, maybe third-hand car for the money we gave to a developer to make a game for us. But it wasn't just anyone, it was someone we trusted and know, and somebody who definitely did way more hours than we paid him for as well. And we sort of co-developed this project, this game, over the course of the past couple of months. And if you watch any Noclip documentaries, you may already know him. His name is Alex Austin. So Alex made Bridge Builder back in the day. He made Gish, the physics platformer with Edmund Macmillan. He has worked on a bunch of games over the past couple of years. Golf for Workgroups is a big one of mine. Sub Rosa is probably his most famous one. It was published by Devolver. It's sort of in like infinite early access, which is kind of where this project is going to lie as well, maybe. And a couple of months back, we got in a room with Alex, me and Jeremy, and we basically pitched him ideas, all these crazy ideas for games. Patrons can go check out that video. And at the end, we asked him to pick one, and he ended up picking a game that he had himself already. He didn't pick any of our games, which was the first sign that maybe we're not right for this, a good fit for this. He picked a game that he wanted to do, which was actually a genre that I'm pretty comfortable and familiar with, and also sort of a lineage of games that I actually know really well. If you mention like stunt car driving, everyone seems to pull a different random game out of the air. Like they existed on all consoles and all platforms. These games where you basically make tracks and then do stunts in cars on them. Alex's I guess his secret sauce is that he's really good at physics. All his games are like physics based, not like realistic physics, but like enjoyable physics, fun physics. He's also really good at doing multiplayer games, sort of large scale multiplayer games. He made a game called Skate or Don't, which is a sort of side-scrolling skateboarding game, which I think supports something ridiculous, like, I don't know, more than 1,000 players. And so he's been working on this thing for months, refining it, making it look better, adding stuff in. So, before we show you how it looks now, let me show you how bad it looked in the past. So let's look at the shit versions before we look at where we are now, which probably itself will be a shit version in a future video. Just layers of polishing turds. Alex, don't watch this video, I'm so sorry.
So here's kind of where we started. Alex doesn't use out-of-the-box game engines like Unity or Unreal, so first he constructed the basic bones of reality: grass, sky, and physics. He spent a few weeks figuring out how tires related to wheels and how wheels felt about the ground. He stuck in a first-person camera, made a loop, and like any good stunt actor, just kinda went for it and hoped for the best. Fairly quickly he started working on a track editor, a tool not just for us to make our own levels, but for players to construct their own too, a key part of any stunts type game. Things like physics and multiplayer seem kinda scary, and probably are to a lot of developers, but this is where Alex shines. He added height to both the tracks and terrain, he added banking, reverse banking, oh, and some basic audio. There's still only one sample for the wheel spin though, he's getting around to that. He improved the car models a bit, made some with different colors, and we were just about ready for our first internal playtest.
I'm flipping.
Oh my god, he flipped! He flipped! You flipped down a hill, so you just kept rolling.
Can we get this VR? I want to throw up.
A lot of the most important elements of the game engine were in, but we had some pretty big questions about what the gameplay of the game was going to be. I was personally hyper-focused on figuring out what game modes should be in it, but Alex pushed me not to box ourselves in too early. He kind of figured that we should try and get the game to a better place and then invite in some of our patrons to see, first of all, if the game was fun, and then also where that fun kind of was. So while Alex refined the physics and fixed bugs, added lighting and a game menu and generally made the game, I drifted into the world of Steam to figure out how to apply for keys. So here are all the apps we have on the Noclip Steam account. We put a couple of videos up a few years ago, so those are there. And then we have Stunt Derby right here, which is the name of the game now. It wasn't always called this. And if we go into our app data admin here and go to keys, you can kind of see how this all works. Steamworks is kind of just like piles of different tools all on top of each other, and some of this stuff is a little bit confusing to get your head around the first time. There are like so many different types of keys you can get, like crowdfunding, giveaway. Some of them are for, you know, clearly for the press or beta tests or stuff like that. What we ended up doing is applying, because you have to apply, you have to put through a request for this. We put through an application for 500 based on Patreon was actually the tag we could use. We're giving them just to our patrons. Yeah, at the time it was called Drive 95, so this was the package that went through, and they send you the keys. It's literally, the keys are this. It's a notepad with all the keys in it. All these keys have been accounted for, I think. That's how we did it. We basically just like distributed them through Patreon just by like DMing people who wanted them. So what happened next? Well, Alex added in some UI elements, cleaned up some of the graphics, a grass texture got added at some point, and we playtested the game weekly with production tier patrons every Friday afternoon. Alex's original map was a simple figure of 8 with this loop at the start-finish straight, and Alex had put in this flip button which helped to recover cars that were stuck on their backs, but it could be used at any time, which just meant that people were spinning around in the air a lot.
Do a kickflip! Oh, shit!
But after a few races, the patrons realized that they could use it to stick better to the top of the loop and even bypass it completely. So we had to fix the gap in the loop at least, and Alex made it so that you could only flip the car while it wasn't moving. I added my own track to the mix as well, mostly just to see if it was cool to drive up and around hills. My track has a horrible corkscrew in the first sector, which at the start players were unintentionally bypassing, but after a certain stage they were sort of doing it to save a bunch of time. This led to Alex adding a waypoint system to stop drivers from taking shortcuts, but that also opened up some new design doors. For instance, in our new team mode, Alex wanted to add this mode where we had one driver in a flatbed truck and the other drivers could drive onto it or into it. Where this ended up was a team mode where some drivers drove vans which were slower and beefier, while other drivers drove regular cars. Using this checkpoint system, Alex made it so that a lap's progress is shared between teammates, meaning that if the green car in front passes through waypoint, let's say 8 on a lap, all the members of the green team have also passed that waypoint. This mode was originally set up so that the vans would block the other team's cars and that the first car to make the 3 laps would win, but by sharing the checkpoints, weird strategies emerged where suddenly blockers and racers could swap roles to mess with the opponent's strategy, or a fun exploit where a blocker would just sit on the start-finish line on the final lap and wait for their teammate to cross the penultimate checkpoint to immediately finish the race. Red guys, why am I the car in the lead?
Yeah, wait, Green, why am I in the lead?
I got stopped on the S turn.
Okay, can somebody go to the start finish? Somebody go to the start finish.
Yeah, start finish.
Start finish. Go, 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 go.
Okay,
Red team.
Right.
Green, keep going, keep going.
Green. Go green. We got to get somebody on finish.
Okay, Green.
Yes!
Oh,
Yes!
you fuckers.
I can't believe it.
Who the fuck? That's some horse shit.
Nicely done. This game has been a lot of fun to play with friends, but then a lot of games are fun when you play them with your friends. So we're trying to figure out other ways of adding to it. Right now, Alex is trying to add some simple AI drivers to create a time trial mode with traffic. And I've been playing around with a bunch of the levels that patrons made over the summer, so we'll probably showcase some of those in the next video. But most of my work this week was trying to get the game set up so we could launch the page on Steam. So let me show you how that all works. So Steam gives you this checklist right here, which is basically all the requirements you need to get a store page launched. And then once you've done all this, you still have to submit it, and then they basically give out to you for stuff that you didn't do right. I was really lucky, I think. I got it all done the first time, but mostly because Alex was warning me about all the stuff they might be pedantic about. It's like pretty obvious stuff, basic info, like you have to do a self-rating questionnaire for like Brazil or something, I think it is, yeah. System requirements they're pretty particular about, 5 or more screenshots and capsule images, that sort of stuff. That was actually maybe the part that took the longest amount of time. If I go over the graphical assets here, you have to make all these different headers for the different like parts of Steam, for like, you know, Steam on a phone, or like what it looks like on the store, or what the community page looks like. You add this like, you know, background, and then I think there's like there's a tool where you can overlay your screenshot or your game's logo on it, so it'll end up looking like this, I guess, at the top of the page. So that's pretty cool. We also had to add screenshots of all these screenshots. Actually, that's the old screenshot without. I need to get rid of that. That's got the old no texture grass on it. Actually, let me do that. And then whenever you do anything, you have to like save it, and then you have to like publish those changes to Steam, but not on this one. I think this is the other. Steam is confusing. There's lots of like, if I hit this, what happens? I think maybe does that work? There's like multiple publishing areas. Oh no, it says successfully published. Okay, let's see if that screenshot's gone. Do we view the store page? This is the store page. Link in the description, I guess. Is the screenshot still there? It's gone. Oh, I guess that was a much quicker publish button. I've been republishing the app every single time. We have a developer name and a publisher name here, Noclip. Apparently someone else is also Noclip because we have all these other games in here, which we did not make. But if you click on Cryptic Sea, you get all of Alex's games. And yeah, I think it took like 3 days for them to clear this checklist, and then they said, hey, it's live, or you can press this button and make it live. And that was a pretty cool moment. We don't have cloud saves or Steam achievements, and now we're at the game build checkpoint, I guess. We've only got a couple of things left to do, including a trailer. I think there's some tips for the trailer here, yeah. Give you there. So that's probably next on my list, is how to make a trailer. I might have to reach out to some trailer experts. But the game is on Steam, and you can wishlist it right now. We'll put a link on the video and in the description, and that'd be cool if you could wishlist it. And in the next video, we'll tell you how many people wishlisted it. And then, I don't know, we'll be one step closer to getting this thing out there.
So that's been the first couple of months of development on Stunt Derby. Stunt Derby, is it a good name, Stunt Derby? Let us know in the comments. We will be selling this game on Steam, probably not for much, like, I don't know, $5 or maybe, I have no idea, somewhere around there. Maximum 10, smallest maybe 3, because we have to give Steam like 30%, and then we're splitting the money with Alex as well. We're gonna have like a goal of how many we can sell, basically just recoup the money we've spent on development. That's kind of gonna be what the goal is. But our goal this week is to just get people to wishlist it. Wishlist the game on Steam. It's such a weird thing to say, wishlist our game on Steam. But please do, and in the next video we'll let you know how many people wishlisted, and if it was more than 100. That's where we're at right now. Yeah, excited to do more of this series. We're gonna do loads of stuff like make trailers and talk to trailer people and pitch it to publishers, or we'll figure it out kind of as we go along and as we find the fun, as they say. So make sure you're subscribed to Noclip Crew as well to follow on the continued adventures of Stunt Derby. Wishlist us on Steam, please. Here's the link. Bye.